Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
We're still getting used to this live stream stuff.
Live streaming again.
There's
The
so
boys are
many
back.
buttons to press to
All
get
right.
things going.
We're
Here we
back
go.
with Let's Talk Live. This is our third one featuring a special guest, and I'm very
Yep.
excited
Let's go.
for one of my oldest friends, I think, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been over 20 years, maybe 30, maybe more than
I think
30.
like 93-ish. So,
93.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
93.
And
You guys were in junior high, right?
Yeah.
Junior high in 93.
junior high 93 here in
Man.
San Diego at Correa. So for
That's
you
awesome.
San Diego people,
Yeah.
if you guys know
My
where-
boy went to Korea.
Yep.
and he's now in Point
Loma
Loma.
kid. Yeah, Point Loma High.
Yeah. So Brandon here, yeah, I mean, we've known each other such a long time, and we have sort of this weird connection, not weird connection, but like through his new venture. And give yourself an intro and tell everybody what you're doing now, so
Yeah.
they can know about you.
Yeah. Yeah. The worlds collided a little bit because we grew up together skating and punk shows and raves and all that stuff, and then kind of went our ways. And then we ended up, I remember you and your brother were you were spinning records, and your brother had all these sound systems.
Lighting.
Yeah.
Lighting guy.
And
Total package.
yeah, and then I went the nightclub route. So, yeah. Anyway, my name's Brandon Colt, and I'm the GM and now partial owner of Spin Nightclub.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Dope, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
which is-
congrats.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
A lot of history in that
A
building.
lot of history in that
Lot of
building.
history.
Yeah.
So much history.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember walking in the first time, and I didn't realize you were working there. I was like, wait, what? Oh,
Yeah.
and we were talking about it.
Yeah.
The first time I DJ'd there was December of 1999.
Wow.
Ooh,
There you go.
crazy.
I think
Yeah.
that was the first time I did there in 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We had Lavelle and I had crossed paths before that at this other place downtown, and we were just talking offline about downtown and how sketchy and scary it was back in the day.
Yeah.
It's kind of going back
Yeah.
to
Full
that.
circle.
Yeah.
But Lavelle and I met at this other place, which was called the Baja Brewing Company, which is now the Hard Rock Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kinda
Man,
how we
that place was gnarly. That was
Yeah.
fun.
met.
That
Yeah.
was a good time. That was a good time back then. You know what I mean? Like there was only like a few spots open. I mean, I remember it was your place was called what is it? It was
Montage.
Montage. And it was SRH was throwing a night there called Studio 54.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they gave me and Scooter our first big shot
Oh, really?
and
There?
started managing us. We residented there and they were our managers. And so like that place, you know, and then I played there by myself. I played I played an 8-hour set. I played 4. Carl Cox played 4
So cool.
at that
So-
same spot.
I mean,
like,
so
you know, it means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Just I've been playing in that spot for so long.
Yeah.
You know, and when there was nothing really going on, there was Montage and there was Riches.
Montage
Yeah.
Riches and,
Yeah.
and Baja Brewing Company.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it.
That was it, man.
A little things here and there in between.
Yeah, I mean,
and-
there's some little pop off, but that was the major, bigger things that were happening in San Diego.
Yeah.
And to still see that venue still being, you know, still doing
Still
strong in
going,
the
yeah.
dance community,
Yeah.
you know, still leading the way, you know, is like
I mean,
awesome.
I always say this is like that location is just such an institution, and like
yeah,
Yeah.
the names and the way it's been curated through the years is just like, I mean, it's crazy. You
Yeah,
know, the people
yeah.
that have been through the doors,
Yeah,
like
I know.
it's nuts over there.
And when I'm running around like messing with stuff and like fixing things, or you can see every era in that building
Oh,
yeah,
man.
you were-
left, you know.
I remember I drove to LA to pick up Tiesto
Uh-huh.
to play in that building.
Yeah.
The first time he won the DJ #1, he was like #1 DJ in the world.
Yeah.
And I drove
So
him all the way from LA. And he went, I took him like to some sushi restaurant.
Was that
in La Jolla.
Polisha?
Huh?
Was that Polly P's?
Yeah,
Was that-
yeah. Pauly
that's
P
right.
and SRH.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
Paul Parente?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pauly P.
Yeah, I worked with him at Below.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was
He was
yeah,
old school promoter.
he's the one
Old
that
school.
Yeah.
he was the one that hired me in 1999.
Really?
He tried to hire me before that, but the club wouldn't let me because I was underage.
Nah.
So December of 1999.
All these underage DJs, like he started
Yeah.
underage, you
Yeah.
started underage,
Yeah,
Yeah, I was a little later than 99, but
but so I,
still underage.
2000.
I mean, how does it feel? Like, obviously you've been working there for a long time, and then now you're one of the owners. But like, I mean, I don't think that we're in it for so long, but like, you're the owner of this place that's just like been there and it's gonna be there, and it's has done so much for the dance music community here in San Diego.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Starting out like and what? Tell us a little bit of history about that
Yeah.
you know about Montage and how it started and things like that.
Well, I'll just kind of go my whole history.
Okay.
With
Perfect.
the nightlife industry in that building.
Yeah.
I was working in a restaurant, I think, in like 2001, and got a little taste of like the industry and getting fast cash, working in a restaurant or a bar.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go work downtown, And so I was young, and it was like money and girls and whatever brought me down into, and I ended up working at Ole Madrid.
Oh
That
yeah.
was my first job downtown. I think that was like 2003.
Okay.
And then I was working there, and then Below opened. I went to Below, worked there for a couple years, and then the Ivy Hotel opened.
Yep, that's where we met.
Yep, and worked there. And then actually, when I was at Below, Shocky's wife was a bartender, and I was her bar back. So I got to meet him, and when he was opening Boyer,
Okay.
he came and hit me up, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come bartend at the club?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I did a walkthrough and saw how cool it was. And so I was there for 4.5 years from the start to the end.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah, that was a dope club.
Yeah, there'll never be another club like that. And so when that closed, I was just kind of floating. And at that point, I was like, that was one of the coolest experiences ever working at Boyer. I was like, I don't know if I can have that anywhere else. I didn't really want to go to like another club and like stamp their brand on my forehead and be like, oh, come check me out here now. Because our hearts were so in it there.
Yeah.
And I just picked up a bar shift over at Spin. I had a friend who was a waitress there, and she's like, they need bartenders over here, and you should come teach. I want to learn how to bartend. Come over here. And I was like, oh, all right. I'd been there. I had been to Montage when I was like 18, a couple times, and then I went to Spin a handful of times, but it wasn't like on par with how downtown was at that time.
Right.
So it was like kind of like a couple steps back because it had kind of not much was going on. At
downtown had that sort of the era of the super fancy mega clubs starting to open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stingery, Ivy, Hard Rock.
Aubergine.
What was at that when you first
Was
started
it all
picking
those
up shifts at Spin? What was happening there at that time? What was going on? What type of things?
It was kind of atrophying. So it was already, or it was still. I think it was Spin took over in 2007. And so they had underground dance music going on there, but it wasn't doing anything intentional. It was just kind of like letting people come and throw shows there.
Right.
And
was that
2007? You said
2007 is when Spin started. They had remember like Giant Fridays and stuff.
Yeah.
So they had a run,
right?
And then that run kind of dissipated. And they kind of faded out a little bit, and so that's when I came over there. There wasn't too much going on as far as the rest of San Diego was concerned with Spin. If you were in the underground dance music culture, then you were still attracted there because they were the only place that was doing that kind of stuff. Because downtown was so much of the like big shows.
Yeah,
and
commercial.
Stuff. Yeah,
business
commercial
casual.
Stuff. Exactly. Yeah, and so when I went there. I had a lot of fun, like being downtown and doing all the top 40 or like, fancy club stuff.
Yeah.
I was there and they had like a reggae night. And I was like, what? I'm like, this is cool, like, and then they had a hip hop night and then they had a gay night. And now I'm flirting with the boys and I'm like, all right, this is fun. This isn't like downtown. It wasn't tight,
stuff.
It wasn't the same stuff. And then there was,
different every night.
It was different every night. Yeah. And then there was a Burning Man Camp fundraiser. And I knew a ton of people there, and they're all like, I was behind the bar, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, I work here now, And I saw how they changed the whole place, and I just
at that time you were already going to Burning Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I had tried to get over there for some of these events from downtown, but could never make it because being in the industry, you get out super late. And so I was like stoked to finally be at one of these events, and I was working, and I saw how they like transformed the club, and I saw how the potential of that club, and I was like, man, this is really cool.
Yeah, it's a good room, man. You can do a lot with it.
Can do a lot with it.
And there's a rooftop. It's a big space.
So much.
Plus the middle floor.
Yeah, and
Well, the DJ booth used to be on the middle floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I remember that.
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
I remember
Overlooking the
that.
dance floor. It was
Looking
so
right
funny.
over. Yeah.
it's funny with the remodel that we're doing right now. I just kind of gutted the last little bit of
Of
how
that area?
where it was,
Yeah.
yeah. So cool. It's like architectural excavation,
Yeah,
what I mean? You're like-
exactly.
this was
Yeah.
West Coast Productions was
That
actually the first
Is
club there.
so awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
West Coast Productions.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
what it was called?
It started out West Coast Productions
Then it was
okay.
Montage.
for a while, then it was Montage.
Okay, that I did not know.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
West
yeah.
Coast and Montage, were they the same owners?
I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Oh wait, it's so funny. This just popped in my mind. When we were outside of your club the other few weeks back or a month back or something, and then the old signage was showing.
Oh yeah, you
through.
could
That
see
was
all the
like,
old.
yeah.
If you looked, you could look where it used to say
On the-
Montage.
on
Oh,
the
really?
awning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to say
Whoa.
Montage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the sticky stuff was still
Right.
there, and,
Oh,
and
no
sort of the
way.
grime would kind of like stick
Yeah.
to the.
That's awesome.
That was
Yeah.
pretty funny. That was cool. That was cool to see that
Yeah.
because you're mentioning about peeling back the layers and
Yeah.
so many things that like. I mean, it's been there so long.
Yeah.
Like discovery here and there. And,
Oh God, yeah.
yeah. So okay, so you started bartending there, and then you just became full-time bartender.
Well, no, that was I think that was like 2014, and I got a little crazy because it was kind of run down at that point. Not much had been done to it. I could see how much it needed improvement, and I got like kind of crazy with my creativity, and I was like, oh man, if we did this, and that,
Right.
and there wasn't anybody flying the ship. There wasn't any like real management. And so it was only a couple months I bartended there, and I propositioned the owners, and I was like, hey, this place needs some direction, like some management, like let me do it,
Right.
And we kind of went back and forth, and finally they're like, okay, cool. And then that was it. Like I rolled in with all my friends, and we just like started painting walls and resurfacing like bar tops and stuff and making it cool. And I started hitting up all my friends who were throwing shows like Desert Hearts, Love Life, and SD Union, who my partner is with at that time. I invited him and his crew in. Then that's where I met him originally. Yeah, and then I wasn't an owner on paper, and so I was like, I can't really mess it up. I can only make it better. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I don't really have much liability, so let's go. And and that was it, man. And I started inviting crews in, and I never really like looked at it as like I'm gonna make it like this. I just kind of felt into the city, like what does the city
Right.
need,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because like when we were growing up,
We were involved in all kinds of stuff:
dude, yeah, like
skateboarding, surfing,
yeah,
graffiti, hip hop,
Mhm.
b-boy, raves,
Yeah.
everything. So it kind of makes sense.
yeah. And
They-
so
yeah.
when we went out, it was like because I was b-boy, I was breakdancing at that point. So
Oh, really?
if
I
there
didn't
was
know that.
if there
Nice.
wasn't a hip hop event, we'd end up at a rave,
Right.
which was mostly like jungle back then. You
Mhm.
know? And there was a lot of really eclectic music going on in the
Yeah, like
city.
what? I mean, like, so this is what? Give me a timeline. Like,
They were in the.
94,
Well, we're talking about
okay, so like, what we
you guys
I
were in
mean,
high
and
school,
like
right?
the biggest sound you guys were into, or like, you guys were all over the place, but like, you guys were raving at jungle.
I think it was just that we'd like to be involved in stuff that wasn't commercial, but we didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
It's just because
You
it
just
was
were.
fun and exciting. It was
Right.
like all the subcultures of anything and everything from graffiti to hip hop to
Yeah.
b-boy to surfing, jumping off the cliffs, the Sunset Cliffs,
Yeah.
like anything and everything that wasn't your standard. I don't know. I think we just kind of
Gravitated to.
Yeah.
because it
It-
was like new, fun, exciting. Nobody,
Right.
not a lot of people knew about it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we weren't stuck on any one thing. We'd be at a punk show, and then we'd be at a rave, and then we'd be at a hip hop thing.
Ska
Yeah,
show.
and then we'd
too.
run around doing graffiti around the city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, you guys are tagging,
yeah,
both of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had some
I had a
Did
bunch
you guys
of
do any
graffiti friends.
pieces?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, Brandon.
Yeah?
That's all
Brandon
we
was
did.
I didn't know you
amazing.
guys were
Really?
into that too.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's where Nate and I connected, because we'd be sketching together, and we'd go out and do some big walls.
If everybody doesn't know, my first name's Nathan. That's why he
Oh
said.
yeah,
That's
sorry.
why he
There
said.
you go.
Yeah. That's
Eric.
why he said
Sorry,
Nate.
Eric.
It's all
Like,
good.
who's Nate, bro?
yeah.
I got it. 'Cause I think I seen your middle name
Yeah.
somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
so-
I had a love and passion for that too as well. I never did
Yeah.
any pieces,
Yeah.
but I had just books of that. That's when I was drawing, and I was like, okay, where am I going now? And like literally, and this was like in the early '80s and our mid '80s, I would say. I started doing it, and I was just like, and now I'm just like losing the plot of being someone that can draw well. So I just bailed on it, and then
Yeah.
like
Mm,
4 years later, it just blew up. I was like, what? That's like
too early.
yeah,
little
no,
too
I
early.
was like, I thought I was all alone, and then I found out all over the place kids were doing this exact same abstract art with letters
Yeah.
that it was just like weird, and I was like, I don't know, it was like, I don't know what was like possessing me to do it, because it was really not even like popular in the art world.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? When I started doing it, and I was just like,
I think it's just
I
fun.
love
It's
to
just
draw,
fun
and like,
exciting.
what
and
is this?
Yeah.
This is not drawing.
No one else
But I-
is doing it.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
But I couldn't stop doing it, but I was like, I'm not meant to draw. So
Yeah.
I like literally stopped my drawing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, boom, I saw this. And then I'm like looking at all the things, how it fall from that to the Banksies, it all like,
Crazy.
like totally shifted the direction of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So
Yeah.
I think like everything from the way that we grew up and all the things we did sort of like helped you put into that place of what you could do at Spin.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly
Yeah.
it. So downtown, it was really confined because they wouldn't put on locals as openers. They'd
Right.
have specific people that they'd have on.
Right.
So the downtown nightclub scene wasn't really supporting the artists that were in the city. Whereas at Spin, that's all it was like just the DJs and the artists and the guys that were throwing parties that wanted to like decorate it their way or have their kind of thing on it. And I saw that and I was like, okay, this reminds me of back when we were young, when the city was kind of like thriving with like a creative underground.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, all right, let's do this then, and that was it. And it just kind of started to move and groove and take on a life of its own. And that was 2014. And then it just became this kind of creative challenge, from taking something, it's like the hero's journey, like taking something from like nothing and where it was dying. And it was already a legacy at that point. And I was like, man, we need to like do something with this and find the potential of this place. And
At that point,
Yeah.
you were full time into it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
He
it
was. That's I remember.
Yeah, a couple
You
couple
were
months
like-
into it bartending, and then I just took over
Yeah,
managing.
you kind of started managing it. And
Yeah.
I remember I would go sometimes and just hit him up last minute, like, "Hey, a bunch of my friends want to go.
Yep. Yeah.
Come on in."
Yeah.
Like,
Always
but
had
he was
that.
always in charge. But he wasn't. He just was like slowly. I started to see things getting revamped little
Yeah.
by little. New parties getting brought in, or
Yeah.
just cooler things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nightclub. It's always going to have to evolve.
Of
you know?
course,
Yeah.
yeah. But it always takes that person.
Yep.
you
And
know?
that's one of the questions I want to ask you. It's like, for us that's seen it for so long, we just kind of expect it to be around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that day to day, like not pressure, but obligation, or you know what I mean? That you got to do it because it's like we're watching you and how it developed and how you have all these cool parties in there. But you know what I mean? Like you had to make it happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it could have not, gone that way. You
Yeah.
could have, not been that successful in it. So it's like explain to me like some of the challenges you have, to reach to just meet the expectation that the city has on that building.
Yeah. Well, I think we're kind of like a dark horse in that sense that nobody was really looking at that club at that time. It was just there wasn't anything that I was trying to do specifically. Like I'm going to make it like this. It was more of whenever there was a really good party and there was good people that we had there, like a promotion crew that would come in,
Mhm.
and they throw a good party. Just the community and the vibes that like you could see the vibes. It felt really good, you know. And,
Right.
Yeah.
and like you could see just people connecting in it, and it really gave space for a community to come together, and that was the glue. That was the whole thing.
That was kind of like your blueprint, looking for more opportunities like that.
Yep,
You
exactly.
know, around the city where people already were like giving them the space.
Yep.
So they can do that.
Well, a lot of it
Exactly.
was it people just reaching out to you, or you just reaching out to people that you know, things that you've been at, like you mentioned, like you ran into some people from Burning Man there. Obviously, how do you go about that?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because after a couple years of doing it with different crews that wanted to throw parties, we started realizing that there's a difference in energy depending on their intention of why they want to do it.
Right.
And so if it was ever like a crew that was trying to fulfill their own needs of maybe like being a good DJ or making a lot of money and all this stuff, like the show didn't turn out as good as if it was people that were of the mindset of like, we want to throw a rad party, we want all our friends there, we want to book our favorite DJs, and we're just going to have a rad time.
That's interesting.
And then that those nights would go
Would be
off
the best.
more. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's because people match that energy that they
Yeah.
see
That the
either their friends
promoter-
putting into it or the promoters putting into it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's
like,
not.
oh,
It's not all about oneself. It's not. It's
Yeah.
about the.
it's about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the community. About
Yeah.
the event.
Yeah, and so we're seeing that data, you know, in coming across like a in revenue, right? And so we're like, I mean, we're business, so we got to make money. We got to have the doors
Sure.
open, and we're like, well, dude, these parties are going off. They're way easier to manage, and instead of just it being like a crapshoot every time, we started looking at this and keeping it as like a guideline or a rule, you know. So when somebody would hit us up and say we want to throw a show there, we'd kind of audit them a little
Of
bit,
course.
and be like, you know, well, why do you want to throw a show here?
Right.
And if
That's
it was like, oh, because we want to be fucking cool,
Right.
we're like, nah,
That's interesting.
we're
We're
we're good.
Do you think
Yeah.
that, to kind of touch on that, do you
That's
think that
awesome.
some of the digital, because there was a big change, you know, we just talked about the old city, and then, you know,
Mhm.
do you think some of the digital DJing era has kind of paved the way for some of those DJs to kind of, because I remember as a DJ growing up, it was all about working together and throwing a dope
Yep.
party.
Right.
Like when we worked at clubs and I was a DJ, it wasn't about one person.
Yep.
You know, what I was taught and what I would see is, you know, the minute they stepped foot at the door, if they had a bad experience, to the bar, to the music, it was like everything was a glue. You know, it had to be good at all angles. But if there was one thing that was off, when I'd go travel and see other clubs, it would throw off the vibe.
Yep.
And so I kind of, when you say that, it makes me think like, I never thought as a DJ to act like that or to be like that, but I wasn't throwing parties either like that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I just wonder, you think it was like the digital era of DJing that created that kind of,
I think just the humanity of it filters in, whether it's the digital era or not. I think that, you know, there's always people that are in it for the right reasons, and there's people
Purpose.
that aren't, you know.
yeah.
The digital era kind of lets people bypass
Yeah.
that whole coming up that
Yeah.
that we have seen pre-digital, where, you know,
The barrier to entry is like gotten way low. So like everybody's
I mean,
like,
it's almost zero.
it's almost zero now.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but I just feel like
You know?
I don't know if it's like,
But it doesn't
digital,
mean
I
it's
just
as
feel like
good.
it's just the like desire.
Yeah,
why,
I mean,
why do they want it? Like,
Yeah.
no one like when we wanted DJ, no one was cool. It
No.
just started, so it was like there had to be a real passion for what was happening,
Yeah.
not what was happening to the DJ.
mhm.
Yeah.
What was actually happening on the dance floor and to the people.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
it was
what
like
got
me,
you
like
into
for
it.
me, like DJing was kind of like a second thing. I was collecting records. I was just collecting records, and then I worked at a record store. I still wasn't DJing, and then they were like, "Oh, I would play records for my friends at home," and they're like, "Come and DJ." I was like, "No, I don't DJ." And they're like, yeah, no, come and DJ. I was like, I'll just play one record at a time if you want. They're like, yes. So like,
What do you mean you had one turntable?
no, I had some turntables. Yeah. But like, I didn't.
Anti-mixing.
I like the.
You didn't know how to mix?
I didn't know what nobody showed me. There was no YouTube. I had no idea what the pitch control did. Like, I was
Pick it up.
Well,
Well,
no, I
figure
mean-
it out.
so like,
I know what you
for
mean.
me, it was really about the music, and that's why I
You
essentially
started.
became a DJ. Not because there was like it wasn't on TV. You didn't know.
No,
like,
you didn't have
see
any
this.
YouTube or
You didn't-
training.
No.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
wasn't a lot of DJs either. I mean, I remember me and Cuts got plucked into the clubs.
Yeah.
And we were like scratch and underground hip hop DJs.
Mhm.
We were like, we don't have the club records, but we can come play. And then slowly we started having to buy the club records. And then we got introduced to the right promoters at like 18, 19 years old. And the next thing you know, we're headlining all the hot spots downtown.
Yeah.
And we had the club records then.
Mhm.
But yeah, we weren't in it to be in the club back then. Like,
Yeah.
we were too young. We didn't even think that was a possibility. Like,
Yeah.
I like bypassed a few years of my life, and it sounds like you did too.
Yeah, I mean, I was just collecting music. I loved it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
I ended up working at the record store because I was there every day, and they're like, just work here. Like, I was the annoying
Yeah.
guy, like talking about
Yeah.
playing record, talking about like stuff, liner notes, and
It was
things.
a lot different. Back then.
Yeah, and they're like, just work here, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But so
You're always here.
okay, so now going from management to one of the owners. I mean,
Congrats.
yeah, congratulations, which is amazing. It's so crazy
Yeah.
to talk about this with you because, like, you know, my first start, I had no idea, like, oh, my friend Brandon would end up owning that place, like crazy. So from management to now owner, is there exciting plans that you want to talk about? Tell us a little bit about, tell some people about it, or what's going to be happening. Obviously, continuing the legacy and what you're doing and curating really good events, obviously.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. It's funny because I've worked there for 10 years and I've kind of acted like an owner the whole time. I've put my ownership on the
you
place.
cared.
Yeah. So people are like, how's it feel? I'm like, it's
Pretty much the
Same.
same.
Yeah, I'm like,
exactly.
but
That's
I
dope.
know you'd
You
say
know what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
but
Says a lot about you.
the cool part about it is that you know, my partner Garva,
Mhm.
who I'll speak about him for a hot second here. His crew, SC Union, they do the drum and bass events at Spin. They've been doing them for 10 years. So they were one of the first crews that that we brought in when I took over, and him and I have become really good friends over the years. And their crew would throw shows with us, probably like 6 to 8 a year, I think, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd do big production, and I'd get in there with them, and they were just pumped about it. And
All right.
they did some of the coolest stuff in the club ever. And every time they did a new show, it was a whole different new production. And we had a lot of fun. And so Garva, his name's Brandon too, so we go by last names.
Last names, yeah.
Yeah. So Brandon Garva, he's loved that place just as much as I have for just as long. And you know, when the opportunity to take the place over came, he just jumped on it, you know, and he's really the one that made it all happen. You know, so I've been there for 10 years running the place, and the venue was up for sale, and I was kind of getting a little bummed out about it. Like if somebody took it and then the legacy would just die, or they turned it into something else. And
Right.
So how did that happen? So did you tell him it was for sale? Did he find out it was for sale? How did that go? And then how did you guys decide to let's do this?
yeah, I think the city kind of knew that it was for sale. It was in the public, if you knew.
Most nightclubs are always for sale.
Y-
Actually, it's
yeah.
it's kind of a thing.
I know, right?
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Most nightclubs don't last as long as that one has.
No.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know any nightclub.
Yeah.
I think it's like
Bars
that
I
one
was-
and Onyx
yeah.
Room
No
are like
way.
the two. That
Onyx,
So
yeah.
how did you guys decide to
I
do
still
the?
go. I still go there. I don't go to Onyx Room.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've stepped.
I mean, nothing
foot in
against Onyx
not
Room,
lately,
but I'm just
yeah.
saying, like, the
Yeah.
relativity.
It's a different. They're doing a
You're
different
not just
thing.
got
over
your
there.
doors open. You know what I mean? You're in the forefront of what's going on.
Yeah,
you
and
know what I
Spin's
mean?
kind of cool because we're not
That's what I love
we're not on
about
a
it.
gas lamp. We're kind of in a little island, so it's
You got to go to go.
It's an event.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like-
what you make it worth going, you know, with the right
Yeah.
people. I mean, you know, doing the cross parties, doing all these things. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You've stepped it up with it.
Yeah.
you know, with the way things are moving. That's awesome to see
Yeah.
that venue. It's just, you know, what I love about it is just stride for stride still has some of the best talent
Yeah.
in the city coming through it.
Yeah, and it's a collaboration, you know, with like you said, Cross, and with you know, all the other crews that come and throw shows there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen wrestling,
Wrestling?
leather. What else?
Leather.
like with like
the ego trip thing.
Sabat.
Yeah, Sabat.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
like
Oh.
Sabat.
Because I got taken there once by a couple of the girls from Lumi, an ego trip, and it was totally different than the
Ego
normal
trip,
spin
that's-
Yeah.
that I'd been, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, this is
Yeah.
cool."
That's where they would have.
And then
some
I
of
knew
the-
people in the DJ booth that
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
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 That's very cool. I've seen it.
A wide variety
How
of
it,
stuff.
like,
And then we've had
transforms.
some of the Sleeping Giant artists out at the Cross events, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's been
Yeah, it's always something different, and that's
Yeah.
what's fun about it. That's what's like kept me there for so long, because it's not the same thing, and
Right.
there's
Yeah.
different energies, and people have different aspirations that they want to create in that venue, and we're able to support them and collaborate and like bring it all together.
I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's lasted so long.
Yeah, I
'cause
think
it's
so,
not. It's different every time.
Yep.
It's like the lifeblood changes. You know.
Yeah,
Because the lifespan of a club, when it's the same for so many years, it eventually just kind of trails off.
Yep.
We've seen it all these years, right?
yeah,
But that's a unique point because it is different every night.
yeah.
You guys have literally a different show, different promoter all the time, maybe
Yep.
once a month there, right?
And how many nights a week are you open?
Well, right now we just started a Thursday
Okay.
and a monthly Sunday for industry night. But
So
there-
So
Thursday
it's
through
Thursday
Sunday?
through Sunday.
There you go.
yeah,
There
Thursday
you go,
through
people.
Sunday.
If you're in San Diego,
Yeah.
Spin Nightclub.
Yeah.
Definitely, you want a little bit of history. Want
Yeah.
to see what's really started at, where it has a like massive amount of to do with my career and where I've gone. You got to go there.
Yeah,
I think
And-
it's important to get those doors open. Make sure you're like not just Friday, Saturday. Doing
yeah,
those other-
yeah. And this is what we've done since we've taken over.
Yeah.
We started Thursdays. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So Garva.
Oh yeah. So go
Yeah,
back
sorry,
to
Yeah, so-
going back to him.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
to interrupt you.
how did you guys decide to link
Yeah.
up
So
together?
well, I was you know, kind of woe is me. The club's going to get sold. You know, and
Because you had put 10 years into it.
yeah, and then I just kind of decided, you know, to my innermost self and the universe, I was like, I got to figure out a way to make this happen.
Right.
And once I made that decision, things started lining up, and I wasn't really telling people that was my intention.
Mhm.
But for some reason, I told Garva. This one night I told Garva, and the next day he's like, "Hey man, I want to be a part of that." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And that was it, man. And he's a really
I haven't met him.
he's a really good
come
businessman
down one
on
of
top
those
of
nights.
on top of everything. And so he
Yeah.
just sunk his teeth into the whole deal. Thank God, because I'm the creative operations guy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and he just jumped in and he's like, I think we can do this, man. And he just like went to work and he
Nice.
made it happen, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it was awesome.
Yeah, I'd
Super-
never met him before, but I obviously
Yeah.
I knew what SD Union was, and it's kind of
I've
like
seen
one of
the
the
name, yeah.
only
Yeah.
one
so
of
do I.
it's really like the only drum and bass like thing
Yeah.
for San Diego, right?
They do some more than I think they worked with Angel at Sleeping Giant before. Did they do more than drum and bass?
Yeah,
I feel like
y-
they booked some of our artists somewhere.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They had another.
I'm not as involved in the day to day there, but I remember Angel talking about them.
Yeah, they have a umbrella company, United by Bass.
That's
was doing
the
house
one.
music,
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do what?
House
They
music.
would.
They do house?
Yeah, they had another brand.
Okay.
If people that don't know the drum and bass community, if they were doing the same thing with house music, they'd be like one of the biggest, you know, crews ever, because they're bringing over these drum and bass DJs from the UK and doing like double, triple headliners, like
Really?
insane stuff. Yeah, like drum and bass heads just freak out because they
Really?
curate such a good night.
That's
Right.
awesome.
They're bringing some of the biggest guys around.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
they
on.
they really do proper shows.
I mean, I think that's awesome, especially in San Diego, because sometimes it's so hard because everyone from San Diego, you know, besides you two, usually aren't from San Diego, and because of that,
Well,
it's
me
like,
too.
all right, I'm the only one that's from.
Yeah, you're
We
the
had
one
this
that-
discussion on the previous
once
show.
before, but trust me, nobody is from San Diego.
There's
But
three
one
of
the
them here.
things is like everything kind of moves the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they started the 5 to 10, and there was
Yeah.
3 5 to 10s. You know what I mean? So it's like you know, not a lot of people or a lot of things just hold on to their character.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless if it's hot or not.
Yeah.
You know, and they stick to their community. And so it's cool to hear and see someone in San Diego that's just like, you know, because you'll see that in LA. It's like, that's just a rock place. It doesn't,
Yeah.
you'll never hear them playing anything else but rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's like cool to see that like this is what that's what they do. Kind of branched off, but they're still sticking their guns and just giving the people that appreciate that some high quality, you know, artists,
Yeah.
you know, in that genre.
Yeah, that's what's been cool about Spin is that we have like all genres. So we have house music, we've got trance, techno, drum and bass. We got the Burning Man camps. We got the, you know, the gay boys, you know, throwing stuff down there.
New wave 80s.
I mean, it was a gay club for 10 years, you know,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that community is
It
woven
was a
into
straight
it.
night. when
There was
we
a
were
straight
going
night,
there.
exactly.
It was,
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
gay
yeah,
club.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Friday was a straight night. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And hey,
Yeah.
come on, dude. If you want to
That's
know where all the
funny.
good parties at, just
Yeah.
follow the gays.
Yeah.
They know what's up. They know how to
100%.
party.
100%. They are the most professional at it.
Yeah.
So what do you I tell people what you have on a regular basis rotating that's happening there usually like from the different nights? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so we have drum and bass, trance, techno nights, obviously house, crosses bring a lot of stuff. I mean, just what I mentioned, you know, like check out our website and look at the events. And that's another reason why I think Spin has lasted so long is that it's a space that not only, it doesn't serve just one community, it's kind of open to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like the city's venue, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what its purpose. It serves the city.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
many different forms.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So us taking over, you know, before the owner that I worked for 10 years, when I took over, it kind of got comfortable and just kind of departed from being in the
Yeah,
scene.
let you do it.
Yeah, and which is cool until I needed to get some stuff done, and then they're like, "Well, we can't do that." And it's like, "Oh man, okay." So what Garver and I have done, just even in the short amount of time that we've had it, is just kind of night and day. You know, like the place, it just atrophied so much, and you know, the cool thing about working with Garva is that we share a similar vision of the place. You know,
That's good.
yeah, we both want it to be a community spot, and what Garva says, he's like, I want to make this a raver's paradise, you know, which is great,
That's awesome.
which is super cool. And
Yeah.
so his heart is so in it that if ever I'm like, hey man, I want, like, we should do this, he's like, yes, exactly, we're doing that. And so it's like we've just been jamming, and
That's
our
so
partnership is so cool. We're like a yin and yang. We complement each other really well. So people are like, you know, oh, how is it owning the place? Are you nervous to own the club? I'm like, hell no, I'm ready to like get
Right.
this going.
That's
And
great. That's an
Yeah.
awesome attitude.
And so I've been jamming. Like the first thing we did was we fixed the sound system. We had a sound engineer come in to town and went through the entire venue and tightened it all up, and it sounds better in there than it's ever sounded.
And move the sound and lighting booth.
Yep. We moved the AV booth. I've remodeled the VIP areas to make more sense. You know, it's like it just looks like it should be a nightclub now. Before it was a little hodgepodge because of so many different iterations throughout the years.
A lot of duct tape.
Yeah.
The DJ was here, the DJ was there, now he's
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so the intention of the club was when the DJ was up, you know, and so everything else was built around that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And so what I've done is kind of remodeled the footprint so that it fits where we're at now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
Yeah. And so
Gotta come check
people
it out.
come and look at the things that I've done, and they're like, wait, hasn't that always been like that? Just because it just needed to be like this, you
Right.
know, and I've been there for 10 years. So I've known, I'm like, man, if we could only just get that like that and this
Right.
like that. And so immediately I just went to work. I mean, I've been in there like 40, 50 hours a week just doing construction.
I mean,
doing
even the
stuff.
last time I played, I forget. I
Wow.
think I played in December
Mhm.
over there. I think it was a cross show, or I'm pretty sure it was a cross show. And like the DJ booth just feels like a proper DJ
Yeah.
booth now.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
it demands the attention
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was cool, you guys.
Like-
So the DJ booth, you know, is 8 feet wide, and then the sub stacks were on the side.
Okay.
And so the intent was to put the subs underneath like in the front. So I demoed the front of the DJ booth, and I swear I exercised like so much like old energy from
Bad
in that
juju.
place. Oh my God, the mojo, like you could feel it, like how many like nights that DJs had played in that booth and
Right.
good nights, bad
Right.
nights, crazy nights,
Right.
wild nights, you know, and like I tore it all out, and I swear I just cleansed the entire place. Yeah, and so I rebuilt the booth, so it has a like a 13-foot wide deck now.
Yeah, it
Oh,
just
wow.
feels
Yeah.
open now. And
Yeah.
like, nice.
And then we put the subs underneath right up front.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like when you
Yeah.
go into like an
Oh.
old house and it's got the closed off kitchen, and then they do the remodel where it like the kitchen can now
Yeah.
view into the,
Uh-huh.
like the living
Oh,
area.
it's called an open floor plan.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Open floor
we
plan.
got an open floor plan.
It felt
going on.
it felt really nice. That
Yeah.
that last time I played, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so the design intention that I've been going for and doing like the little remodel is to have kind of a line of sight from on the first floor, so you can kind of like everybody's on the same level. Where if the subs are up real high, then now
You're
if you're in
blocking
one
off.
place, you're blocking a view. So now
Right.
everybody can view the booth
Okay.
at the same time.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah, it's
That's
fun.
awesome.
Look at that.
I got to
It's-
check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
It looks cool. Sounds
Yeah,
cool.
it's been rad. Like we've done changes and nobody can really pinpoint exactly what it is, but when they come in, they're like, man, it feels
so-
it
it's
feels
subtle.
better in here.
It's subtle, but
Yeah.
it's obvious.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, man.
So how long have you officially been one of the owners?
It's been 6 months since we took over in August. Yeah,
6 months.
yeah, and we just
Alright.
so we have a new logo that
Swear, it
just,
feels like you've owned it longer than that.
yeah,
don't know why.
we've been
Because of the
working
way
on
you've
it
been
for a long
running it.
time.
Yeah.
Don't even run it up.
Yeah,
It's because he was running it with intention.
Yeah,
he had his-
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you had a connection to it, and you wanted it to be around a long time. You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Like that's something important to you, like intention. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Well, he comes from the old school where you sort of like love your job, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
get your job, love your job, be really good at it. Right?
Well, I mean, I'm really honored and humbled to steward a place like that, and to create something for a community, because you see people that come in there and just have these like real life moments. I've
Yeah,
talked to
for
so many
sure.
people that are like, oh man, I met my girlfriend right there. We're not married, have kids,
Oh, yeah.
or I had this experience there, and how much
Partied
it means.
so many times.
So many.
First time I ever hung out with my wife was there.
There you go.
You know?
See,
There you go.
There
that's
you go.
it.
Yeah, that happens.
And
Very true.
that's it.
We've all had some
Yeah.
nights there for sure.
And we kind of lovingly call it like our church, in a way, because it's a place where people come to gather and to kind of worship, I guess. I mean, for not to throw out some, get crazy about it with the words, but it's kind of what it is, because music is, it's kind of a creative, inspired thing that we all tap into.
Oh,
And then
for
when
sure.
we come share that together, I mean, that's kind of
Very influential.
yeah, that's what it is, and
Yeah, exactly.
those are the best times.
yeah, everybody's having that
Oh,
connection.
yeah. Definitely
the best time.
Everything, the vibe is right.
Yeah.
it's like that.
So with the club, instead of it being a place where come see this DJ, pay the money, blah blah blah, and then the venue's just kind of like a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's more of like a community center where like it's not just about the DJ, it's not about the money, it's about having the space
Yeah,
for the
about the
community,
whole
for the
thing.
city,
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Because like the city, oh my God, when the Super Bowl came to San Diego, when was that? It was like the early 2000s.
Oh, early 2000s. I did a
They
Super
just-
Bowl party. Yeah.
The
I remember that. It
the
was like
city,
2001.
yeah, they did a full sweep on all
All
of
the
like the
venues.
creative spaces and downtown, south of Market. There was a bunch of lofts down there
Yeah.
where they had these weird parties, and I just remember so many creative artists were like, I'm leaving, and they dipped, and San Diego just kind of dried up as far as creativity. And now it's about 20 years later, so we're starting to get that juice back as a city, and we need stuff like that.
Yeah.
We need a place where people can be weird and they can just kind of express themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things about Spin is that on any given night, you'll see like some downtown kids, you'll see the festival kids, you'll see a couple gay boys with their shirts off running around, you'll see like the techno heads, and just everybody's hanging out.
Right.
I love that. Like
Yeah.
that's the best. That's where I feel comfortable, because that's how we grew up.
Yeah,
Because everything was just like
yeah.
mashed
Yeah.
together. There wasn't spread out. So yeah, that's what it is, man.
Nice.
Right on. That's
I want to
dope.
ask if there's anybody that's watching, if you have questions for Brandon or questions for us, make sure you drop them in the chat too.
Yeah, and for anybody that's never been to Spin is it was built from the ground up in 1990, I think, and it was built from the ground up as a nightclub. So it wasn't something else. It wasn't.
Always meant to be a nightclub.
Always meant to be a nightclub. It was inspired by some clubs from New York and Miami.
Okay.
It looks like that.
That's why when you're walking around, you can kind of get lost, you know?
Yeah.
It's 3 stories.
Do you have any pictures of that any of that that you've ever seen, or what it looked like on the outside, like the street? Because obviously we've seen it change from condos across the street or apartments across the street to like the circus next door. Buffalo Breath used to be over there, but
Like from before it was built?
Yeah. Have you ever
No.
seen anything like that?
No.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
I
to
do
find
know
some
there
of
was
that
a
stuff.
1-story house there, though,
Oh,
that got demoed, and then they put the
really?
club up. Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
in its place.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
whoa! That must have been like just by itself.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Some
like
random
it's
person.
it's a perfect industrial area for a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so 1990, they built it into a club. They demoed the house and they built it into a club.
Yeah, 3 stories. So we have the main room with the mezzanine around it where you can look down on the main dance floor.
And that's when it was named before Montage. That was
West Coast Productions.
West Coast Productions.
Yeah.
That was the name of the nightclub.
Sounds like a.
Yeah.
When you said that, I thought it was like an audio video
Yeah, right.
West
Yeah.
Coast
West
Productions.
Coast
Yeah.
Productions.
West Coast
funny.
Productions.
or like a car shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If anybody knows anything about this West Coast Productions, let us know.
Drop it
I
in
want
the
to.
chat.
Some
no.
people are going to be like,
I would
"Oh,
like to
sorry."
hear. I'm not quite.
Maybe
that
I
old
know.
yet.
I know.
I mean, they're got to be around my age. Because I mean,
I
graduated
know
in
Demon and
90s,
Rags
so-
signed
Yeah.
up for this live stream. Maybe they're watching. Maybe they can drop some info into the chat.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Demon and Rags.
Oh, gotcha.
I know they. I don't know if they're
Demon?
on. Yeah,
Oh,
but
sick.
he
What up?
signed up. Yeah, say hi.
What up, Demon?
The chat's a little quiet, but let us know if you guys have.
I
any
think
info.
you and I know Demon from.
Yeah, I went to high school with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Mission Bay.
Where'd you guys go?
Well, I went to Point Loma.
Okay.
He
Went to Mission
he
Bay.
got in trouble. So
Mission Bay.
His parents shipped him.
I skated in Mission Bay back
Yeah.
in the day.
His
yeah,
parents
but I didn't
shipped
go
him.
there.
We were causing too much trouble, so his parents shipped him to Mission Bay.
Gotcha.
Literally, they were like, I was like, I want to go to Point Loma with all my friends, and they were like, we're not going to keep you around those kids anymore. We were already getting,
Really?
yeah, we were running amok at a young
Oh,
age.
it's awesome.
You guys the bad Point Loma kids?
No, I don't think so. I mean, no, we were just
I mean,
distracted.
come on, bro.
We didn't
you gotta move
cause.
to a different school.
We didn't
We're
cause.
like,
I
guys
feel
are
like
minutes.
I feel like
Look,
the-
we weren't
He was a
getting
bad
arrested.
influence.
We-
My
no.
parents knew it.
What's
any
going on
skater
here,
kid
dude?
like I was a skateboarder.
I didn't
we
even
were,
drink
we were getting
alcohol.
into stuff.
I didn't even
like,
drink alcohol until I was
We were
25.
cruising the city
Okay.
doing stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
was
But I
different
feel
back
like because I lived by San Diego State, and then something happened in the school district where I had to go to Lewis, and then ended up at Patrick Henry, which is just across the freeway. But I was supposed to go to Crawford.
Yep.
And I felt like the kids with all the parents that had all the money were the ones causing the most trouble. They were the ones selling all the drugs and doing all the.
Well, yeah, because
They had the money.
Yeah, they had the extra.
Yeah, we didn't. I
extra
didn't have
loot.
all that.
Poor
you
kids
know?
couldn't afford drugs.
I had a skateboard. That's about it.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, we were. Wait, did you skateboard? I
What?
forgot.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, my memory.
You guys,
Yeah,
yeah, you guys
skateboarding,
both said you just
Okay.
said
That was
skateboard.
so
punk rocking.
skateboarding was the foundation of how all
all of us.
the friends came
yeah.
together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making
That was,
sure.
guys
that
are all
was the
skaters?
baseline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was the best break dancer. Like he was crazy.
Yeah.
He, was,
really?
he had some moves. Yeah, I mean, none of us could do the
Still ever
windmill.
break dance anymore?
Except
you ever,
him.
you ever get down still
Yeah,
at the club? Something inspires you.
I've
do a
tried,
glitch.
and then I'll pull a muscle. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's right. I'm good.
Yeah.
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 You know.
Reminds you.
Yeah. You got to be
Behind
keep
you.
it light, right?
Yeah, keep it light.
I get on a skateboard every so often, but I don't do no tricks.
Yeah, me too. I like
Yeah,
to
no,
cruise around.
I got two in my trunk right now.
Two skateboards?
Yeah.
Just double?
Just-
I got one in my
cuz?
truck.
Like-
I got a
breaks.
cruiser and a shortboard.
Okay.
My nieces like to skateboard now, so I'll just go with them a little bit.
You're like, just in case I crush
Yeah,
it too
yeah.
hard, I got to get the other one out.
Break this one. No
Um,
tricks.
Let me finish talking about Spin. So
Yeah.
so main room, then we got a mezzanine that goes around the main room, and then we have a side room with another DJ booth where there's other music in
Yeah.
the side room, and then we have an open air rooftop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so big place.
Yeah, no, man.
I've DJ'd every location in that place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah,
A couple years ago,
so cool.
pre-COVID, I DJ'd New Year's in the side room, and I ended up playing for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It was incredible. The side room.
The side room's fun.
It was like, I forget what time. It was definitely sometime after midnight. I don't remember what time I got over there, but I played like 4 hours, and then like I literally had to stop the music, and everybody's just like clapping. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, thank you guys.
That's cool.
I'm going home. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
The
though.
side room's cool. It gets
Side
real
room was
intimate
cool.
in there.
Back in the day, I played the rooftop, and then obviously I played on the mezzanine when the main the DJ booth used to be there, and then obviously the new open what do we call it?
Open floor plan.
Open floor plan DJ booth, which is amazing. Yeah, I mean every room in there is so cool and it's so unique.
Yeah, and that's so all right. So on that, with what we're doing with the place is we're, because the place is so unique and the architecture is so interesting. What we're doing is taking every space in the club and kind of decorating it, making its own little world.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Nice.
It's been fun.
I like that.
Give its own little special touch.
Yeah,
Yeah, one theme throughout.
Give its own like identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cruising around, check stuff out.
Any other big shows you got coming up?
Yeah,
excited about?
just
Ton.
check.
I
Yeah,
don't want
we
you- I
should've
don't want
had
to
this a
single
week
you out.
before.
yeah, check out the website.
Check
Sorry,
out
I'm
give
not
me the
on, I'm
website.
not on socials as much. I'm slaving away in here.
We've
Can you give me your website?
our website, spinnightclub.com,
There you go.
And
or,
the socials?
or just Spin Nightclub or Spin San Diego.
There's a question
Instagram.
that I'll let you answer, but it's about, after hours.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Yeah. What's the question?
What are the nights they're doing after hours?
It's per event, but for the most part, it's pretty often that we're doing after hours now. Yeah, back to 4 a.m. So that's one thing that we've got back on the docket after we've taken over. So
Good.
That's right.
So it's come.
I can't handle that.
So once again, check that website. See what artists and what parties are going to be after hours. But as he says, he's doing it as much as he can.
yeah,
So I hope that answers your questions.
What else we got? What else we got about Spin?
I
Let
don't
me
know.
think.
I mean, I can go on. Like, remember that first time I was there, and me and Scooter got booked there, and they saw us at what was it at Blind Melons,
oh yeah,
right? For the first time,
That's
it was
awesome.
SRH, and I was like, Scooter was a hip hop DJ, and I was a little prima donna house DJ, and so they're like, we did a 2x4. So they go, we got. So they were like, we're not gonna put you guys in the booth. Want to put you like, so or not
To
where
showcase you on the side,
yeah,
right?
so where you have your where the decks are now, it was like over here. You know what I mean?
like on where the elevator's at.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So they set it up there, and they're like, but we only got one table, and I'm like, what? There's no way. You guys can't get another table. You know what I mean? You booked us. You guys got to find another table. And Scooter snatches the phone from me.
It was pre-sleeping giant days.
Snatches the phone. He goes, yo, man, we got another table. We'll get it. Hangs up. It's like, yo, man, I got way more muscles than I got money. You're coming down to house ass isn't going to ruin this gig for us by over a table. And I was like, whoa, my bad. I mean, I'm just trying to stand our ground. I'm sure they got another table over there, bro. So we roll in the first time with our own table. Put it next to their table.
No way.
Said he had to set up 2x4 and then just smash that place and then end up being resident.
Is that's where you got the Scooter and Lavelle started?
No,
No,
it was
no,
funny. We
no.
got it
They
started
started
at
at
Blind
Blind
Melons.
Oh, you got it started.
But they heard about it and sent the guy to check it out. And then
Gotcha.
offered us to come and play at Montage
That's
Yeah.
funny.
on their Friday night.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's
and then,
one of the.
and then what? Freddie, have you played there?
I was just gonna say, I've only played there once with you. It was like
Yeah.
that Jameson event. Yeah, I've been there more than I've actually played there. You know, I've played everywhere in San Diego, but that was one venue that so for Montage, I was too young. I graduated in 2000, started playing clubs and bars, I think in like end of 2000, 2001. But Spin was one of the ones that I was never at. I was always started in PB, La Jolla, and then Gaslamp. That was my territory. And I think at that time, we obviously all worked together at multiple places, but Spin wasn't really happening. And then when you guys got in and took it over and were managing it, it was all promoter driven. So it was just a different thing. And I was on the road a lot. But then, we got booked for that one Jameson party. That was the only time I've played there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man.
And then
Missed out.
Brandon and
I
I,
love
we
that
just
place.
end up following each other every once in a while because obviously at Voyeur, I was one of the resident DJs there.
Yeah, and I was like,
started-
what are you doing? He's like, you work here? I was like, what, you're playing?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's so funny.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And then Spin, and then now the proud owner of
Yeah, I
the
know.
whole place.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know.
I don't know if you guys
Full
know this. This
circle.
guy is such a solid man.
Thanks, bud.
Like, always answers his phone. If you know him.
Don't
Yeah.
don't
For
tell
that,
the world
But
that.
no, I'm just saying, there's not a lot of people out there like him, man. Like, always just, just always is the kindest. And I'm so glad that someone like him is in this position
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
club
Yeah.
because it's going to be in good
Congratulations
hands until he's done with it. It doesn't sound like he's done with it anytime soon.
Not at all.
So
Just
San
started.
Diego is very, very lucky.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to give the place everything that it's been lacking, and kind of squeeze the potential out of it. I've been telling people I don't want anybody to ever say Spin has so much potential ever again, because
Right.
for the long time,
Right.
this place has so much
Yeah,
potential.
you hear that.
Mm,
There's so
Yeah.
much potential.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we're starting to squeeze that
Yeah.
out. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Is there any like where would you see this? Where would you see Spin? And maybe you don't have an answer because you're taking it day by day. But where would you see it 5 years from now? Another 10 years from now? What are you thinking? If you could
Yeah.
imagine it.
Yeah. Well,
Decade from now.
just like my partner said, a raver's paradise,
There
like
you go.
Nice.
that's it. Really, it's like with the festival, with festivals taking over the industry or kind of adding to the industry. You can spend a couple $100, go on a camping trip with your friends, and see a ton of artists. Like there's a lot of value there. So, how much value can you give? In a nightclub, and so that's where we're focused. With the different rooms, and having the space and the sound set up in a way where you feel like you're immersed and you're having like a really good time. We don't want people to just come and pay money to see a DJ and split. We want them to come and have a good time.
Yeah, like you
enjoy
said,
themselves.
rave, the experience.
Exactly.
Like the decor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what, that's the thing that seems like you guys have in common. Your partner's more on the business side, but he still was, like you said, when he threw his parties there,
Oh, yeah.
they were always different.
Oh yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that is a very powerful way
Yeah.
to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
when you're just like you said, you're not like, oh, we got this. It sounds good. Open the doors. It's like, no. What are we hanging? What
Yep.
are we doing? What is our theme? What is
Yeah.
our, what
Yeah.
are these guys, and you keep doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an L row.
Exactly.
It's an experience.
That's
You keep-
exactly it. Yeah. I mean, they're on a massive scale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's
yeah.
just, I mean, but there's still, it's just an experience.
They put a lot
It's
of
an
effort into the
Yeah.
experience.
Effort
yeah.
is an experience. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's
Yeah.
not all meant to be on that level, but when it's all thought about that in that
Yep.
way,
Yeah.
it makes it all unique.
Because
Yeah.
we've seen the clubs come and go that just open the doors and try to do everything
Yeah.
that's already been done. And,
Yeah.
that's what's unique about what you're doing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, our team is, everybody that's involved in Spin right now, and it's way more than me. I've got a really awesome team right now. And the cool part about it is that everybody that's involved is in it for the right reasons. They're in it to be part of the community. They're from the community. You know what I
Right,
mean? That's the
right.
cool thing. There's nobody there that's like, hasn't had their foot in it, or their waist up in it
Right.
for a while, and so it's really fun working with a team that really has the same love and passion for it, because it just makes it so much better.
For any of the up and coming DJs or producers that follow our label and channel, if
Yeah.
they wanted to play at Spin, what advice would you give to them? It's a lot of promoter driven events. So I
Yeah,
feel
we're
like-
we're also one of the things we're doing now is we're starting to throw in-house events.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Okay, nice.
No, this whole past weekend was kind of in-house events. Is that right?
I'm sorry
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Except for SD Union. Well, wasn't an in-house event, but it's
But it's
it's
in-house
Garva's
event.
it's Garva's night, which was beautiful because like what better way to have our opening weekend but to have SD Union
Oh,
represented.
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Sorry, I missed
Stamp
that.
off.
Yeah, and then Saturday we had back-to-backs with a lot of the guys that have been
A lot of the hometown
a
heroes.
lot of the hometown heroes that have
Yeah.
been, they've been at Spin for a long time. They've been there. They've been, thrown shows there. They've, played there a bunch. And so we wanted to make sure that on our opening weekend that we reminded the community and ourselves what we're all, here for and who helped us get here. So that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of guys going back to back, and
Cool.
yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
So
cool.
in 5 years, yeah, like more of the same except elevated. Really, what I think that kind of like a passion side of it for me is that, you know, the young kids coming in, DJs, producers, promoters, there's always somebody that's like older that's been doing it that'll like throw you under their wing and kind of bring you up in
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And so we want to help facilitate that, and then at the same time, just educate the city about music. I mean, really, because you go to LA and there's a bunch of people that know about different types of music in LA, in San Francisco, you know, Chicago, and like San Diego. You think it's like a real liberal city, but it's actually really conservative. And there's so much good music out there in the world that, like, in San Diego, you got to kind of search to find it. Really, it's all in our life. So
but no, I agree. Yeah, especially for a city that's like so expensive to live in.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to search that hard. It should be much more.
Yeah,
Well, it's funny that you say that,
much more diverse.
because like almost every time I get the opportunity to play over at Spin, it's like I get to pop out those songs that I would not play anywhere else, and I'm like, oh, I get to play this one.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
I've been waiting, whether it's like something like super spaced out or something that's on the pop end, or just something that I know that like I cannot play at another venue.
Yeah,
you know, and I can get away with it there.
Yeah,
and people love it.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So more than anything, I hope that Spin attracts people in that just want to find new music and new experiences, you know, and not just San Diego. So we're so comfortable here in San Diego. I swear to God, it's like people don't go out unless their friend's going. Are you going? All right. If you're going, I'll go. You know what I mean? Right. It'd be cool if people are like, hey, I want to go check out some cool music
exactly.
and come out, you know? So that's a goal of mine, is to help educate people in San Diego about new music. Because the new music is awesome. When you find some new music that just, because we're all growing and changing, and so you grow and you change, and then there's a different type of music that like you connect with at this new level in your life. It's like it's the best.
The processes of people making music. Yeah, you know, add new elements.
Exactly.
It's always nice to find something hot and new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you guys know where to go to find something hot and new. Spin.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on everything.
Come add to it. Yeah. Thank you.
Very big. What do we got to talk about? We need to let people know what's going on a little bit.
Well, some of the NOS stuff. I mean, I was just telling Brandon. I don't know if you had known that, you know, our record label and stuff, and I just had my release last Friday.
Nice.
No more waiting.
My latest one. I'll Be Waiting, which a lot of people enjoyed and been texting me all weekend about it.
Yeah. I saw it just got playlisted on a big playlist today.
Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I've been monitoring the stats a little bit.
Awesome.
Doing well. So make sure you check that out. The link is on our website, nosrecordings.com. I'll drop that in the chat. But for the DJ producers, we do have a big announcement this week. And for everybody watching, we're launching the demo submissions.
Yeah.
So stay up to date on our emails this week for that.
Send in your tracks.
Send in your music, man. Now's the time.
Yeah. A lot of you have been asking. We get about 3 to 5 messages a week. So
well, let's see it. Let's hear it.
But now we're gonna listen to the music.
Yeah.
Well, no, we wouldn't get any submissions. They would just ask, where can I submit?
No, I know.
Yeah.
Now you can submit.
Now you can. Well, we'll announce it on Thursday formally. Send it in.
And of course, I'll be playing a bunch of tunes next time at Spin.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to play in your new spot again.
Yeah.
I'd love to get in there too, man. It'd be fun. We've been talking about doing a little NOS Recordings event when the time is right, and you were on the top of the list.
Yeah, let's do it, man. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be super cool.
Homegrown label and a homegrown club.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So when we're ready, we will definitely be giving you a call.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. So check out our website. Check out Spin's website for our up and coming events. Check out our playlist on Spotify.
Do you want to give your phone number out? So
yeah.
So I can answer all.
Exactly. So you can answer all.
Don't do that.
All to everybody.
Guys, if you want to get booked, just here. I'll give you his number later on.
I already flashed it on the screen. It's okay.
I did type it in there.
Yeah. What you guys did ask about, like, up and coming DJs and producers. I'd say the best thing you can do is just get into your community, whatever that looks like to you. You know,
That's the advice I give everybody. Everybody always asks
Yeah.
me, like, how do you play some of the events? It's just like going out and meeting people. Like,
Yep.
if you see this dude at the bar at Spin, have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
He's the
come say
coolest
what's up.
guy I've ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the coolest guys I've ever met.
Very
He's,
true.
you know, that's why
Yeah.
we've been friends for
Get involved.
30 years.
Yeah,
like,
That's a great
get involved
advice.
in
Yeah,
what you want to
What you wanna
aspire
a part
to be.
of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll say this too about COVID is that a lot of the people that were in the scene for a long time kind of dipped, and so there was no big bird to put the little birds under their wing,
Right.
and then seeing
What do you mean by some of the guys dipped? Like
so
in San Diego
yeah,
or just in general?
people that have been throwing shows, maybe
Oh, the
like
promoters.
even
Yeah.
DJs,
I-
producers.
I could tell you that speaking to the team at Sleeping Giant, they said the same thing nationwide, that there was
Yeah.
a big change. A lot of the promoters that were throwing parties weren't doing them anymore, or doing
Yep.
one a month, which was less events all around. So
Yep.
I know what you mean. So,
So the younger people coming up didn't have anybody pointing them the right way
Yeah.
anymore, you know, and so there's a little
Right.
bit of a gap.
Okay.
And then during COVID, from what I saw, was there was a lot of DJ sets online, and so people that are coming into the scene that want to play music, want to produce, want to throw shows, they just see that like you can DJ and they think that you're going to roll in a club and there's going to be a crowd there waiting for you, you know, which
Right.
isn't the case, you know, and,
No.
and a lot of the people that have, you know, done it and know how to do it that aren't around anymore aren't really teaching them. So I'm seeing this kind of like
Right.
recreating the wheel right now.
Right.
And so what I'd say to anybody that wants to throw parties, that wants to DJ, wants to produce, just have fun with your homies. That's it. Start a community, start getting in there, start playing, and then that's how it grows. You know,
Right.
it's like there was that one thing on the internet where it was like an outdoor event, and there's one guy dancing, and he was dancing all crazy,
Right.
and then he was by himself, and then a couple people came next to him, kind of making
Oh,
fun
yeah,
of him.
yeah.
And then, like in 30
Yeah.
seconds, there's like 100 people
Yeah.
just going nuts,
I don't think
and
I saw that.
that's like
Yeah.
like the attraction, you know.
Right.
So it's like be what you want to see, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're just having fun and doing your thing and creating a community around you, it makes it so much easier, and that's how it goes. But if it's like, hey, give me a booking, give me a date, I'm
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
I swear, it's like,
Yeah.
you're not really adding to the community. You're just
Right.
trying to kind of like get something
your
for
own.
yourself, you know.
Right.
Speaking
That's
as a DJ, and I know you guys can probably throw in your 2 cents. We talk about this before on the show. It was a lot different way back in the day. There's so many DJs now trying to compete for these spots, and you got to make yourself stand out.
Yep.
And you also need just from the experience, know the role of the set. If you're opening, play to the opening. If you're, I've gone to a lot of played shows recently, and some of the guys are banging it out early, and that's fine if that's your music knowledge, but it doesn't enhance the night in a way. Some of us have to come in and kind of bring it down and pick it back
Yep.
up, and just remember it's a team thing. It's not all about
Yep.
yourself is my main point. Like
Yeah.
I come from the era where we work as a team in the nightclub, like I said earlier in the stream, from the door to the bar to the owners to the DJs
Yep.
to the light guy, everybody has to work together. And that's, I think, the biggest bit of advice. Also, if you want to see someone DJ, he's doing our NOS Radio live in this
Oh,
room.
wow. That's a little segue over
There you
here.
go.
Nice.
Boom.
So if you want to learn, and then I'm going to be doing the studio one. So if you want to see the production, you can kind of pick some stuff up from us old guys.
What are you doing?
Yeah. He's making all the art.
He's doing all the art.
He's
Doing
drawing
all
the
art
pictures.
for that.
Yeah, he works on some of the music.
Yeah,
but
man. If there's
we
any
all
way
work on the
that
music.
as,
But
as us,
yeah, that's
that
what I was
have been here a
leading to.
while, can
If
help
we can
out, 'cause,
help
I mean, like
with the young
with the
youth,
young kids, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
send
Let
them
us
our
know.
way. That's kind
Yeah,
of
because sometimes you don't think of it as and they, sometimes you think of it as they don't want to learn because of the way they're positioning themselves, but maybe they don't know anything else better.
That's true.
That's just their version of going for it.
Yeah.
Which looks different from our version, but it's a different time. And, I had mentors,
Yep.
that were right there that I was watching and mimicking and learning from.
Yep.
They weren't, I wasn't learning from a bunch of amateurs or nobody I didn't have to learn. I had to be patient, but I didn't have to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, you know, I can imagine how difficult it would be to try to figure it out myself if I didn't really have, you know, people that inspired me to want to do it.
Yep.
I can only imagine how much more difficult it is now too, with as many DJs as there are. So I think the key thing is really, like you said, establishing your friends and community, and just being a good person, but also trying to make yourself stand out in a way from everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's
but I
not
also feel like too, it's different, but you know what I mean? Like if you think about it, like back in the day, it took so much longer
to get
so much
good.
longer to get to
The music, to
just
get-
the places. You know what I mean? Like you had to go and blow up all these clubs for people to find out.
Yeah.
Now there's so many more, but you know, it's so much easier to be massively known around
because
the
of
world.
because of social
You
media
know,
for
so it's
sure.
like, yeah, there's more, but back then it took you forever to blow up because you weren't blowing up off of social media. You're blowing up that guy.
Yeah.
Brandon told this guy in Texas, you got to book this dude
Yep.
because he just destroyed my club.
Yeah.
Not like, you know, so that method, you know, there was less, but was still
Well,
a
yeah,
longer road
That took
than a guy just going out and dropping a song, blowing up, and then everyone knows who he is worldwide. There was like so few and few between. And now those kind of like, you know, it's saturated,
change.
but you know what I mean? You can blow up faster. It was less, but it took longer to get, you know, bigger.
I meant for the new guys trying to get
Yeah.
the gigs, like we were talking about. For if you're trying to get the gig, you mentioned like, don't just call me for the booking, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the key point I know that the team at the agency gets a lot of those questions, like, oh, if I get an agent, I'll have all these shows, and it's not always like that, you know.
Nope.
It's a two-way street,
Yep.
and the agents are looking for people that also have things going on. So
Yep.
you got to start somewhere and build your own path a little bit before those doors open.
Oh, for sure.
100%. Yep.
It's a process.
But
Yep.
you know, definitely go check out Spin, because if you want to play there, you got to be there.
Exactly.
That's true.
Want to play my party? Show up.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
Anything else you want to mention, Brandon?
Yeah.
Let me think. Yeah, we got a Thursday series. So our Thursday series, we're doing a different genre every week.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're doing like a bass this Thursday, and then we do bass, techno, house, and then kind of a wild card.
Thursdays.
Either
Thursdays?
Yeah,
rotating
so,
rotating genres every week.
Yep. So we're starting Thursdays, and then we have
And
third,
that started already?
started already,
with
yeah.
the grand opening weekend. Okay.
Okay.
Just
and then we
making
have
sure that they
industry
know.
night on Sundays. It'll be the third Sunday of every month. We just had one. We had Tara Brooks and pork chop from Desert
Yeah,
Hearts.
Desert Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then
Right on.
lot of good
Shout out
shows.
to Tara Brooks.
Yeah, shout out Tara
me
Brooks.
too. Worked
Yeah.
with her at the
We've-
Ivy.
Ivy. Yeah, we
Yeah,
all worked with her at the
exactly.
Ivy.
That's true. Yeah. That's cool.
yeah.
OG.
We have a lot of history with Tara. We
Yeah.
run into her in
That's
Miami
awesome.
all the time.
And she's such a sweetheart too.
Yeah,
she's
good
awesome.
friend. Good DJ as well.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, we got a lot of good, exciting things coming this year. I mean, our schedule is getting booked out real quick. People are excited. A lot of the changes that we've been doing there just make so much sense, you know, and things are starting to align. It's gonna
Good.
it's gonna
It's
be
going, huh?
fun. Yeah, and
There you go.
we're doing after hours again, so people are
Let's
coming
go.
out, and we're just doing it, man. It's been a lot of fun. It feels like old times, you know. We kind of had a heyday right before COVID. We were jamming. We were really jamming. It was so much fun, and then COVID just, like, we were closed for 15 months, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we even made it through that.
That was
Heard-
my first. It just reminds me. That was my first show. I played at Spin.
First show back
Yeah.
that weekend.
Yeah.
That was so nuts,
that
dude.
was bananas.
I didn't even know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
the COVID was crazy because working in the industry like 20 plus years, I didn't know how to be a normal person. And like
Yeah.
sitting at home, I was like,
Yeah.
this is weird. And then when we jumped back into nightclub life, I was like, how did
Yeah.
I do this before? You know,
It was a
that was a
weird
wild,
change.
that was a wild weekend, man. That
Well,
opening weekend.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm sorry I missed the grand. I wasn't on social media. I've been cooped up making music for 2025.
Yeah.
But
We had
I will
it
step
open
in.
Cool.
with
Yeah.
new ownership.
And you
Yeah.
guys got to check it out on
So
all of
please
you.
check it out.
Yeah, if you're ever in San Diego, we got a lot of people on the YouTube channel that are obviously all over because our music is being marketed worldwide. So if you are in San Diego, Spin Nightclub,
Come,
Yep.
come to Spin. That's
where it's at.
Come check it
We're
out.
keeping it real there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we will catch you guys on the next one.
All righty.
Thanks, guys. I'm
Yep.
excited. Excited
Yeah.
to be here.
Right on.
We're excited to have you. Thank you for coming. It was a good time.
How long was that? We still talking?